Evening, Eileen, Tracy, Sylvia, Susie, Diana, Tracy, Nora, Mitch, Nora, Andy, how are you, bro? Timmy, Jezza, hope your holiday's going well, son, and I hope it's warmer there than it is here. It's fucking freezing here, mate. Carolina, James, Dylan, Nath, Van. Right, guys, just before I bring Nath on, I want to give you a little bit of an update of what's happening in South Africa. The guys have been in touch with me. Apparently, Putin has written off $20 million US dollar debt for South Africa. He's eyeing up the whole continent. Central African Republic is considering hosting a Russian military base. After restoring Russia as a key power in the Middle East, President Vladimir Putin is turning his attention to Africa to raise Moscow's profile in the struggle for geopolitical influences. Putin hosts leaders from more than 50 African states this Wednesday in Russia's first conference with the continent, underlining a Kremlin push to rival the USA, the European Union and China as strategic player in the resource-rich region. Russia is increasingly looking to Africa as a region where it can project power and influence, said Paul Stronsky of the Washington-based Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. So it looks like Russia is going to get involved in South Africa, according to the sources there. I'll keep you informed anyway to what's going on there. But as I told you the other day, that I did have the footage on my phone, but it's been wiped by Facebook. It was sent to me on Facebook. I was going to play it tonight of the two Russian fighter jets landing. It's been escorted and landing in South Africa. So, you know, we will keep you informed of what's going on with our brothers and sisters in South Africa, because we have got to start uniting all around the world, because it's a worldwide crisis. These elites, it's not just happening in Europe, it's happening everywhere. So it's Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, all over Europe, South Africa. You know, we've got to start really sticking together as nations. I'll see if I can bring Nath in. So basically, that's what's happening in South Africa at the moment. That Russia is probably putting a base there very soon. So we'll see what happens to that. Evening, Nath. How are you, brother? I just thought I'd give them that update before you come on.
Yeah, needs to be done.
Yeah, because we've got to, you know, like I said, I'm in touch with the guys in South Africa. They're keeping me informed, and I'll put it out over here. So, you know, we'll be their voice, because the mainstream media definitely ain't going to be their voice. It's got to be down to us.
Well, we're finding this in most countries now. In most countries that are actually have any problems or want any message getting out, the media's just not doing it. As far as most people are concerned, the world is one happy, bubbly place. It's not, especially Europe.
Yeah. So we've got some good news as well, ain't we, Nath, about we can actually do something against these scumbags in the government, in the parliament.
Like I said, we've been doing a lot of research, digging around in a lot of places, and we believe we may have found a way forward.
Yeah. We can't say too much, obviously. We can't say too much because we don't want it getting out to them. but we've definitely found a way that we can.
We believe we've got a way now.
We've got these banter rights lawfully, basically.
This is what we keep saying to people: not to be so hasty, and to make sure that your physical and mental intent is what it should be. And you got to make sure you know what you're doing and the reasons you're doing it for, and make sure they're just. That's always been our point: is to educate people and try and steer people in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, you seen the other day when I went on with Craig, the amount of people that didn't realise what was going on, but then you've got people like Yolandi Kenwood who was slating it, saying he was warmongering. He was all warmongering. They don't know the half of what's going on, mate.
No, because most people don't even bother to dig deeper than the international press, which is the same as any national press. It's the same as like going to buy the Mill or the Sun or something, or the Telegraph or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You might as well buy the Sun, because they're putting what they want to put in. They don't put in what the truth is. They're putting what they want you to believe. It's the same with all the newspapers and all the mainstream media. I mean, I'm going to tell you now, Paul Golding, he got arrested apparently when he come back the other day. But I watched his on Russia 24. I watched his interview, and it was obviously dubbed in Russian. But basically, he ripped the government in this country. He ripped them a new arsehole, basically, in that interview. He told the Russians everything what was going on here, about how they denied the democratic vote, this, that, and the other. He absolutely went to town. So fair play to Paul Golding.
Fair play.
But the interview itself is only in Russian. If we can get out of it again, I might do like a voiceover so people can hear what he was saying. I might be able to do that for them and put it out again. So when the questions are asked and he answers, I can get it translated and I can talk over it. So hopefully I can do that for people. That's if it's still on there. And so people can see what he actually said. But he did. Fair play to him. And that's why he got arrested, basically. He ripped up. But like I said, I'll try and do that over the next day or so. Get that so we can, you can all listen to it, the actual English version.
Yeah, good.
But it's very interesting what's happening in South Africa at the moment, mate. It's
well, there's a lot happening in South Africa. That's the point. There is a lot, and I think this is what a lot of people get caught out with, is because there is actually so much going on. You tend to sort of get stuck in looking at one angle rather than looking at the whole picture. I think that's where most people fall down.
Well, somewhere was held up the other day, and so many million dollars worth of gold bullion was stolen, and the police just did nothing. So it's one of them. But like I say, we can't abandon what's happening over there. We've got to start telling them what's going on.
Well, this is the thing. This is what we've come down to now. We've actually got to a point where it's not just in our country like Wiki can about. It's kind of a global phenomenon now, where we're being controlled in what we can and can't see and hear. So we are to the point now where I think we have a duty to pass information on to each other. I mean, people want unity. I think passing of the information, the truth, facts, I think is going to be the best way of uniting anybody, really.
Yeah. I'm just seeing if I've missed anything.
Yeah, not bad, Trevor. Still got a headache, but migraine's not too bad.
Well, the reason why we're always on mine at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, is Nathan. He can come on my live feeds, but I can't go on his because Nathan can't go live till the 5th of December. So that's why everything's been done on mine at the moment.
I'm banned from going live on my profile.
Yeah. Yeah, at least they ain't kicked us off like they did the last time yet. Yet.
I'm just wondering if it's something I may have said. I just wish I knew.
Maybe not. I think it's when you start telling the truths they don't like it. And when you've got somebody reviewing it, I think... Yes, James, it is down to Agenda 21, 2030, what's happening in South Africa. It's disgusting. But hopefully the South African people will realise that there are people in this country that do care about them and are putting the message out and are putting the plight out and are getting it out around, well, at least around the UK. And then we've got, as you know, we've got followers everywhere. So hopefully it's going to get out in America and Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and they'll all start.
Well, I think this is going to be one of the key things. As I said, it's the spreading of information amongst ourselves from everywhere, not just amongst our own communities and a lot of them everywhere. That's going to be the key feature, because if we don't tell them, if we don't tell each other, the government are not going to want everybody to know what they're doing. Even if it is the outside world, it should still matter to most people, because it's still going to happen to everybody eventually.
Yeah. So Putin is holding a meeting on Wednesday with the 50 nations from the 50 member state or 50 states or something, and he's on about they're going to be putting in Central Africa. They're going to be putting a base. So once the Russians get in there, they'll have a bit of protection. Yeah. So that should be one good thing. One good thing that's going to be coming from it, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I'll keep everybody informed on that anyway. So, yeah, China's already in there, but not. I think if Putin can pull this off on Wednesday, especially because they've already taken in refugees, farmers from South Africa into Russia, I think that'll stand them in good stead, I think. Should do.
I reckon so. And you've got to remember as well, the way I'm seeing it is, I think most Australians are kind of getting fed up with the amount of Australia that's being built up basically by one country.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Not to put down the Chinese, but that's another thing that we're getting complaints throughout the world from, is the fact that our steel industry is going, because we've got cheaper steels that are coming in use now, where people are cutting corners and it's destroying it. But the thing is,
but what happened was, if you look back 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago in this country, the steel and everything went right up in the scrapyards here. The Chinese was paying the money, and the reason they did that was so they had the monopoly, and that's why the steel went up. But now it's rock bottom prices again here. But China, and a big player now, because we don't recycle the steel ourselves. It was all shipped off to China because they was paying the top dollar for it.
Yep, exactly.
And when things like that happen, you've got to think of the consequences. Yes, they're paying top dollar for it, but you've got to think, well, what happens when you've sent it all away and you ain't got any left? Then they're going to screw you over back and get that money back 10 times. Because you ain't going to have any steel.
Yep, they're going to profit on the buying of the scrap, and then they're going to profit on selling you back of the material.
Yeah,
it's what most countries do with a lot of things. This is why you've got the main players buying at the moment, the places like Africa, which is rich source rich. Sorry, it's the exact reason why it happens. It's all greed.
Yeah. So it's one of them, mate. But this local rebellion now, what we're going to have planned. We're putting it together now as we speak, guys. We're putting it together, this plan. So once it's all in order and we go down and we do what we've got to do, you'll see that the way to do it is the way we're going to do it in lawful rebellion. It is the only way to do it. Well, it's not the only way to do it, but it's the only way to do it and stay 99% safe.
Yeah, I mean, to say people got to remember you've got to abide by the law of the land, common law.
Yeah.
That's one of the key elements in this.
Yeah. And that's where we've got them. With common law. But they don't know we've got them yet. They don't realise what they've done, but we do. So.
Well, I think they do. I just don't think they're expecting anybody to actually do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, that's what I mean. They don't realise that we know.
Yep, it will do very shortly.
Yeah. But it's like Claire's just said there. What's happening to stop 5G? Only again the people. The people are the ones who are going to stop 5G. If you don't speak up, they'll just build the towers. You've got to make it quite clear. You hadn't better build a tower here because we'll get the cutters on it and we'll cut it straight back down.
Yeah, we don't want it here.
And that's the way you've got to deal with them people. But apparently now that Trump's come on and said that geezer's been killed, so. But all that'll happen is somebody will step in his place.
Yep, issues is away.
You know, it ain't going to go away. That ain't just because he's been killed. Don't think that's the end of terrorism in this country or any other country. All that'll happen is somebody else will step into his shoes and carry on the fight, and he'll just become a martyr. The geezer who's just been killed.
Yep.
You know, so. Yeah, see, a few people now from South Africa now because, you know, because we're showing that we're interested in South Africa, people are starting to unite. And that's what it's all about, mate.
Well, a lot of it is the information. As we keep saying, people need to get the information, and government. People got to understand the government don't want us having this information. Nobody wants to have this information. So, they're not being funny. I reckon if it carries on, as they said, there'll be a point in our future where having certain books will be like having Class A drugs. It'll be ridiculous.
Yeah. But with the 5G, it's plainly obvious. Everywhere they test it, I mean, they did one in Coventry the other day. And as soon as they switched it on, birds was falling out the trees. It's obvious. It's dangerous to everybody, you know. And they keep making excuses, and you keep getting the people who just want a faster broadband sticking up for them. Oh, it ain't dangerous, because they ain't bothered about people's health. They just want a millimetre second faster broadband. But what would you like with that? A millimetre second faster broadband and cook it from the inside out, or a millimetre second slower broadband and everything be pretty safe? Listen, they ain't putting these mobile towers up and that round London for the 31st for no reason. Think about it, guys. They're going to start putting these towers up ready for the 31st in London, and they're going to be put around the perimeter about a mile away from Parliament. So if everybody starts and it starts going wrong, they'll just switch them on and you'll clear the area. That's how bad it is. But nobody's listening. Nobody wants to care until it happens.
Yep. It's American grade military technology. It's ridiculous. They will do it. They will do it. They're already doing it. It's the plan. That's how.
Go on, hesitate, Nathan. It's like there was going on about all this. They've just arrested that guy. 39 people died in the back of that lorry for his. Okay, it's a shame. Well, what, like I put on my wall yesterday, what about the thousands of old age pensioners and homeless who are dying in the streets because the government's incompetent?
Yeah.
None of them are being arrested, are they, for manslaughter?
Nope. It seems some people can get away with murder, literally.
Yeah. I'm sick to death of it all. I am. Everywhere you look, everywhere you do, they're all on, you know, astronomical money, and they think it's great. And they tell you you can live on £70 a week or whatever it is now on unemployment. Or if you're a couple hundred and some odd pound, if you're a couple, you can live on that. And yet they'll spend that in 10 minutes on a breakfast.
Yep.
They've got no idea what the real world's like, none of them.
I mean, this is half the problem. If we don't start waking up, if we don't actually start sort of stopping this, it will be too late. There will be a point of no return.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming. And then the government know it. That's why they're getting all these terrors ready.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing, guys, this is going to be the worst thing you can ever do if you accept 5G anywhere near you.
Well, this is what people got to understand.
If they put the posts up or they put them in the top of the... There's a way of seeing through a camera if it's 5G or not. When you point your camera outside, when you look out your window, you won't see the flicker, but you see it through a camera lens.
Yeah.
And if it flickers at the top, it's got a chance it's a transmitter. But people don't listen. They don't want to listen. And you're all going to end up... Listen, everywhere they've put these masks, people have been ill. More or less immediately. Started suffering migraines, everything else. Stomachs. That ain't happening. That ain't a coincidence.
No.
And like I said, every time they test them in an area and they switch it on, birds fall out the trees, other than insects, animals die. It's not a coincidence that this is happening.
It's not just that. Well, people keep saying that but it's faster broadband, certain bits. But what you don't realise is when you get your updates on your phone, the updates actually physically slow down your phone, so you think you need to upgrade to the next one.
It's like now.
Exactly, Kim.
You're being conned the fuck out of. Because I know this for a fact. Majority of people, when Virgin and all that tell you you're getting 4G coming through your cable, that's old cable. It's not been updated. Not been updated. So how can you possibly get 4G through that cable when it's not been updated to accept that signal? You're paying for the con. You're paying for the con. You're not getting 4G at all. You're still only getting 2 or 3G. But they'll con you. Oh, fast! You want a faster broadband? We'll put 4G through there. They can't do because it's not. The cable's not up to date enough. But people still get on. Yeah, I'll have that. An extra £10 a month. Yeah, go on, then I'll have that. It's a con. You might as well stay as you are because your internet's not going to get any faster. Trust me.
No.
It's impossible for it to.
It's like you said, it's like you said, they can send a selfie from Mars, but they can't sort out signal for 3G. It's remarkable.
You drive down the motorway and you're listening to Heart or whatever on the motorway. You watch how many times you have to keep retuning that into the different areas. And even when you get in an area, the signal ain't strong enough. You keep losing the signal. But they can send a selfie at Mars. Perfect.
Yep.
God, you need to wake up, guys. They're pulling the wool over your eyes left, right and centre, and people are falling for it like the best thing since sliced bread. And I'll just laugh at it all day and night because it's impossible. But that's definitely one for you guys. You're not getting 4G. It's impossible to get 4G through a cable that's not been updated. It's impossible. You can get it through a tower because they can update the tower. But the things that connecting the tower, if it's coming through the ground through a cable, the cable's got to be revamped. The cable's got to be, you've got to have the new fibre optic cable coming through that's got that 4G in. You can't suddenly turn 2G and 3G into 4G. It's impossible. That's like saying you've got a 1300 engine in your car, but it's got the power of a 1600 engine.
Pretty much. It's still going to be the same engine, same speed.
You can't have a 1300 engine that'll act like a 1600 engine. And it's the same with this cable coming in your house. So you're all being conned.
It's all a con anyway, like I said, with the phones, everything's been made to break. You have to upgrade, keep buying. It's all about keeping up. It's no longer, no one can sit down and relax and look at the world around them no more because they're too busy trying to keep up with it. Was it Minani said, keep up with the Joneses? So we're in a society now of just people just chasing something that they're never actually going to obtain ever.
Yeah. Well, I know I do him. I drive down. I have my CD on, but I'm just saying. But people do. You know, when they're driving down the motorway, you keep losing the signal. Or if you've got Radio 5, you're listening to the match or something and you're driving, the signal's horrendous. Yet they can send the selfie. They can't sort that signal out for the radio waves to come clearer, but they can send an almost 4K picture from Mars of a selfie. Couldn't make the bullshit up. So
the thing is, it's remarkable what they can do, but we can't. Yeah, we've got meant to have the same technology.
Yeah, people just got to wake up to the illusion. You're being fed an illusion. You're living in the matrix. You got to wake up. Yes, lawful rebellion packs. Text Angela. 07 855 285 119. And they'll send you one in the post.
Or go on to Constitutional Movement Worldwide official in brackets on Facebook, and you'll see free PDF. There's also picture downloads at Prince Draft 24. A couple of different formats. I believe we also have a website now as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing something with that hopefully soon.
Yeah. So now, guys, the future is in your hands. It's in all of our hands. We can do this. But only if we all stick together. The world can do this. The whole world can do it. Stick together. Take back control of your individual countries.
Yep. There's only a few people in control of the whole thing. So if we all stand up, they'll have no choice.
Yeah. You've all seen that picture of them, all the peasants kneeling on the watch, and they've got the Monopoly board on the top, and they're using the peasants as a table. And all the peasants have got to do is stand up, and the game's over. That's all you got to do, guys.
Yep. Like I said, going to lawful rebellion itself is a direct action. So you're already on the way. You're already doing a direct action. So you're on your way. Most people get upset about this, but even going to lawful rebellion is a direct action in itself.
I think so, Joe. I think the website is up and running, ain't it, Nath, now?
I believe so, yes. I think I shared it on my page. I haven't had a chance to go over it all yet and have a look at it completely. It's just been set up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you'll get out of this life, guys, what you put into it. And if you're just going to be willing to sit there and take everything that they throw at you, of course they're going to downtrod you. They're going to downtrod you for every last penny you've got. And I've said this before. It's like now, just have a look at all your latest bills, guys. Council tax, water rates, your gas, your electric, they've all gone up again, but your wages haven't. So now, instead of doing 40 hours a week, you're going to have to do for the next year, you're going to have to do 50 hours a week. And then next year, you'll have to do 60 hours a week. Can you see the pattern that's going to happen? Eventually, you're just going to be climbing out of bed to go to work, come home, get in bed, go to sleep, climb out of bed, go to work, come home, get in bed, go to sleep. You ain't going to have nothing other than work and sleep, work and sleep, work and sleep, just to survive.
You won't have time. You'll be too busy surviving. That's how you'll survive, because you'll get nothing else. They'll have a chip like cattle and that lot. And then you won't be able to get food unless you've worked for your credits. What do you think? I mean, look at it. What we are now. We're basically almost pretty much there with the cashless society now. Anyway, it's like all you're doing is getting credits added to your bank account, and you take a card out and you spend it off a card. We're not that far from it now. We need to reverse that. We need to make sure that every single person and what they hold on their person is worth something. So, if need be, they have some sort of value to them.
The old days, you used to go into the office on a Friday, you got your wage packet and you had money, actual money. And it was your choice whether you put it in the bank or not.
Yep.
You actually had money in your hands. Now it's just digits in an account.
Yep.
They can just go click and it'll go 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then when you put your card in the bank, you might think you've got £1,000 or whatever you've got in, and you'll have nothing because the banks have all crashed.
Exactly. And this is the thing, people don't realise that I do believe there's already been something signed where, and I believe it's been made into law, I think, I'm not sure, where the banks can actually pilfer from your personal account to keep the bank afloat. So you'll be paying for their mistakes again. And there's about to be a massive bank crash across Europe. It's been designed.
Here's a test for you. Anybody who's got any businessmen or whatever out there have got a substantial amount in the bank for your business. If you've got 100 grand in the bank, for talking's sake, and for your business, go try and draw that money out. Give them, even if you've got to give 7 days notice. You put 7 days notice in to draw 100 grand out, you won't get it. They won't give it to you. Because the money's not there. It's a digit. It's a digit world we're living in. There's no money. It's all digitally generated. There's no money.
Yeah. It's not just that. If you try and take anything more than, I think, £5,000 or £10,000 at a time, you've got to give them a reason why you're doing it.
Yeah. And why should you? It's your money. It's the same as all this. You can only give 25,000 away for charity to a friend or whatever. Why? If you've already paid tax on that money, it's your money. You should be able to give 100,000 away if you wanted to, if you've got it. But you can't.
Yep.
And look how many times you pay tax. Yep. Look how many times you pay tax.
Every time money is changed hands, there is tax paid.
Exactly. You pay tax on your money, you get your money. You go to the shop, you buy a coffee, you're taxed. You buy a sandwich, it's taxed. Buy cigarettes, it's taxed. Everything you buy, tax. And you've already paid tax on your money.
Exactly. Then you've got all the wrapping and everything that you put in the bin, and then you're taxed on having that rubbish taken away that you're made to actually have, because we don't need most of the wrapping.
Exactly. The bins, they're supposed to come and empty your bins. It used to be every week. Now, round here, it's gone to every 2 weeks. You're still paying the same money. You ain't paying half council tax because they only empty it twice a month. Need to wake up, guys. You're being fleeced. You're being shafted. Everything. They're shafting you with everything now. It's starting to,
Yeah.
and we're lapping it up.
I mean, it's funny what Joe just said there. You go for a pee and it's taxed. Technically, it's true. You ever tried going to the toilet in London? I mean, you have to pay to go to the
Listen,
toilet.
Nathan, I went with my wife down to this weekend, Saturday, down Warsaw. McDonald's and KFC both got security guards standing like this at the bottom of the stairs. If you don't come away from the counter with a meal, you don't get to go upstairs to use the toilet because they won't let you. Purchase to go to the toilet. It's disgusting.
I mean,
and Bloxbridge, where from me, it's a little village. There's no public toilets in Bloxbridge at all. Only one set of toilets in Bloxbridge, and that's in the library. But you've got all the shops there. There was toilets in Bloxbridge. They knocked them down, but they haven't rebuilt them.
This is the thing. This is what we need to start rebuilding and putting back in our country. The things that actually sort of, because this is the thing. You could be completely innocent, and the fact that I don't know. You've been downtown. You've had a few coffees. You've been to a few shops. You need to go to the toilet. There's no toilet. Some people will go outside because there's nowhere to go. You then get fined and made a criminal because you had to go to the toilet, and unless you just want to stand there and wet yourself, and even if you stand there and wet yourself, by the way, people, you can still be done for urinating in the public place. So you can be fined for that. So they're on purposely. It's like anything to do with cars now or motorways and that. On purposely making it so they can criminalise you, so they can penalise you. Becoming ridiculous.
Yeah. That's one thing you got to say about Russia, about America in certain parts where I've been to America. There's plenty of bins. You walk 10 minutes to find a bin in Warsaw. Yeah. Once you get out to Park Street, the main Park Street, there's bins down there. Once you turn left or right or any farther, you'll struggle to find a bin. Now, that was never like that when I was a kid. There's bins everywhere.
Yeah. They want you to put your rubbish away, and they want you to make sure the streets are clean. But they take all the bins and everything to do it. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Because they want to fine you for dropping a bit of litter.
Pretty much, yeah. It's anything, like I said, anything to criminalise so they can penalise.
But, you've got school kids walking from school. We would have done, well, you don't have to do it like I said years ago because there was plenty of bins. But a school kid ain't going to walk 250 yards to put something in the bin. They're just going to drop it on the floor. We know it's wrong, but that's just the way life is. There should be more bins. But they'd rather tempt them to drop that litter so they've got them on camera or whatever, and then find out who they are and write to the mum and dad and say, right, you owe us £50 for your child dropping litter, blah, blah, blah. There's no need for it. Put more bloody bins out like they used to be.
Exactly. Have amenities for people. Let's put the things there so we can all keep the streets clean. We can all actually make it a nice place to be. They don't want it like that. They want to just criminalise you. I say criminalise to penalise. And it always lands up in a monetary fine. So, like you say, you're taxed from day dot to the day you die. And you are constantly bombarded with, I'm going to call them rules and regulations that set out to criminalise you so they can take even more money off you. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Things need to change.
Another thing they always used to have, Nathan, they don't find anymore. Well, not round here. I don't know whether it's still like it in other parts of the country. But all the roads are big hills going down. At the top of them roads, there was the big green plastic bins full of grit when the weather turned. So that if it snowed or whatever, or it was going to be icy, You know, you could do it. The people in the street could go up to that bin and do it themselves if they wanted to.
Yeah.
If it was a place where there's no gritters come. They don't even, they've took the bins away now. There's not even any bins there, let alone any grit.
We actually still have a few grit bins around here.
We ain't got any around where I live anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, not many.
Well, it's just silly things like that that you remember. But then if you have a bad winter and you go there, oh well, we'll get off the drive and that because we can go and spread all the grit out the bin at the street. And when you go, oh, it ain't there anymore. And you're paying for that just like you used to pay before.
Yeah.
You know,
we're paying into basically systems that are on, and this is what people think seems to do. It's just, oh, it's, the NHS is not working, get rid of it. This is not working, get rid of it. No, they do work. It's just the people that are in charge of it are on purposely destroying it. If we could stop the destruction of all our industries and that lot, then we would yet again have some of the best industries in the world. But until we stand up and do something, it's not going to happen. They want this to happen.
But you ain't going to get any better off until we stand up. You've got to start standing up, guys, because if you don't, they're going to take it all.
They want it all. That's the whole point. They've been wanting it for a long time, slowly building up to it.
I mean, you've only got to go to the gritting stations now where they fill the wagons up. Them pits used to be full to the brim of grit.
Yeah.
They're not anymore.
Yeah.
Because unless they are 100% sure in their heart of hearts you're going to have a bit of snow or whatever, they won't grit the roads. And yet years ago, they gritted it just in case. Just to keep the road safe anyway.
Well, it's black ice. One of the most dangerous things we have in this country is black ice.
Yeah. But they don't care anymore. No. And you're paying for all these, you're paying for these amenities, guys.
Yeah. Moreover, it's like you say, look what we said about the car and that lot. You pay your road tax and your council tax and then your car tax. I mean, you pay for the same thing over and over. They just trick you into believing it's for something else or it's in a different way. There's a different angle to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you've got to wise up to them, guys, and you've got to start saying, no, I ain't paying for this, this, and this because I don't get this, this, and this.
No. No, this is what we need to do. I said this is
your poll tax is supposed to be for all your amenities. Yeah. Your bins, your police, ambulance. You found a crime now, somebody breaks, the police don't even bloody come round anymore. They give you the crime number.
Yeah, so there you go.
Don't even come to your house anymore. So what are the actual, what part of that £120 a month you pay is going to the police? Because whatever it is, you should be getting that back. Because they're not doing the job anymore.
But this way, if you're on benefits or if you've got some sort of benefit based income sort of thing with a part-time job or something, anything to do with the government giving you money, if they think for 1 minute that you've been overpaid something or you didn't do something to have a certain, that's it. They take it back straight away. So why can't it be the same the other way around? Mm. If it doesn't work out, we want our money back.
Yeah. For talking sake,
you save £300,000 in a certain area when we want the money spent there and go, oh, well, we want the 300 grand back, so you're gonna have to start mortgaging your houses because you need to pay the people back.
Okay. For talking sake, it's £120 a month, £80 for your bins, £40 for the police, £40 for the ambulance. Sorry, £80 for and then £15 for the police and the ambulance and the fire brigade, etc. Police you can have back. £40 of the other one you should have back straight away because they're only emptying your bins once a fortnight instead of every week. These are the things you should start by doing. Start putting them on the toes. Start saying, well, you're reneging on what you said. You say you'll empty my bins every week. You're not doing it. You're coming once a fortnight. So I'm halving my council tax.
Exactly. If you're doing half the job, you only get paid half the wages.
Yes. But it's illegal anyway. Council taxes. And we all know it is. There's nothing in law that says you have to pay council tax.
No, these are all voluntary things. They just trick you to believe that you have to do this.
But I'm talking from a voluntary. Yeah, I'm talking about technically okay if you say, okay, we'll volunteer to do that because we want our streets kept clean, we want our bins emptied, so yeah, we'll pay. I'm talking from a voluntary side. You still shouldn't be paying full whack if they ain't doing the full job.
No.
But and that's the same at one time, and we've talked on this the other day, Nate. Stop using the self-service tills in Asda, Morrison's, Tesco's, etc., because you're stupid for doing it. Because you're taking a big basket, you're going up to the things. You are a paid teller. You're scanning all the stuff yourself. You're bagging it for yourself, and you're paying for the privilege.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's called free labour. That there's still people at the tills getting paid to do it, but you're doing it for free.
Yeah. Don't get me
It's
wrong.
more convenient because it gets you out there quicker.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If it's a couple of items, if you've just bought a Mars bar or something, fair enough. You don't mind. Yeah. But if you've got, if you've got a couple of baskets of stuff, a lot of places now, whether you want to do it or not, the guide you to these places, and there's probably 2 tills on, and the rest are all self-service.
Yeah.
And people have been conned into thinking, oh, this is great, this self-service. Now, you've just become an employee of Tesco or Morrison's free of charge because you're going to scan all your own stuff, you're going to bag it all yourself, and you're going to pay for the privilege.
Yep, and you're then going to pay them for a bag that they actually, believe it or not, and I also I believe the majority of the companies in the world would actually say they'd pick up the tab, but no, apparently the people have to. But then you buy a bag off them, and you go and advertise their shop for them free of charge, because you walk around with them bags with the adverts on it. If we have to pay for bags, they should be blank bags. They should not have any logo on them.
Yeah. So
otherwise, I want money for publicising their company.
Yeah. I'm the same guys. I used to be exactly the same. I used to go there with my little basket and go to and then one day I thought, hang on a minute, I'm doing the tiller's job here, and I'm paying for the privilege, and I'm putting it in their bags, and I'm advertising. So now I don't take any. I only take normal plain bags with me. I'll go through the till. I don't get to the self-services. I'll wait in the queue. I ain't bothered if I've got a 20-minute wait. I'm still waiting in that queue because there's no way I'm going to do this job or whatever for them.
Well, but sorry, if we was to all just wait in the queue instead of doing self-service, then the money they would lose, because that's how they count it, is turnover per hour and stuff like that. If we all stand there and it takes an hour to do, I don't know, say 20 people, because we're all standing there waiting for a person to do it for us, they're going to notice that, because normally there'll be something like 3,000 people going through the self-service, but we're all standing there waiting for 2 tellers. So if we were to stand there, that would send a message. It's little things like that. Like I said, in lawful rebellion, you are meant to disrupt. You're meant to disrupt Parliament, everything. You're meant to actually be as much of a bugger as you can, really, to do things like that. Make it difficult for people, especially like the associations, especially like our government bodies. You've got to make it difficult. You've got to be a thorn in their side.
Yeah. Claire's just said, Claire Smith, Hospital appointment waiting times have increased. I don't care. That's correct. And also, what I don't like about the hospitals is you have to pay. You're sick. You're given to the hospital for an appointment, and yet you've got to pay £5 or whatever it is to go to Clarke so the doctor can see it. That should be free. You pay for the NHS through your wages.
You actually believe it or
So
not,
you actually
pay for the building, all the equipment inside. You pay for the car park and the equipment used to basically fine you for having to park your car there.
Yeah.
You
So,
pay for it all, and they're just using it to make money
you've
off you.
not only got the stress of, I don't know, going for a bearing meal scan or something like that, or whatever, or a CAT scan, whatever you're going for. You've got all the stress of that and the stress of, well, if I'm back a minute later, I'm going to pay double on the car parking. It was never like that when I was a kid. It was all free. It's only because we've allowed these things to creep in. We've allowed them to tell us and brainwash us that you need to pay to park on the hospital. Why?
It's not just that, as I've said for a very long time. Get rid of middle management, because that's where most of the money's going, paying their wages for a start. Get rid of middle management, because they haven't got a clue what they're doing. Bring back matron, put matron back on the wards, get her doing her job like she used to, because they used to do that amazingly. Pretty much the backbone of the NHS was matron. Just do it properly, get it back to how it used to be.
You look at how much money they're making from these car parks, etc., from us, the people, when we shouldn't really be paying for it, because you've already paid for the NHS, and that, like I said, through your wages. Shouldn't have to be paying. The sick and the vulnerable shouldn't have to be paying for anything.
No. This is the thing. Take it this side. We have pensioners that have to pay their TV license, and most of them will pay their TV license because they watch telly because they can't get out and about. So it's one of the only sources of entertainment. But they can't afford to heat or eat themselves or travel to the doctors. You know what I mean, we've got people who are in work who can't have a day off work if they're poorly or they need to go to an appointment because they can't afford it. We're at a crisis in this country. And unfortunately, the people that we keep turning to fix these problems are the ones that are just tightening the screws. So it's time that we actually started doing something ourselves, people. We're going to have to. There's no one else that's going to do this. Until we stand up and say something about it and start doing something about it, they're going to carry on because there is no resistance.
How many times have you seen it where you'll have a pothole by your house or whatever? You'll all have seen this. You've got a bit of a road somewhere by where you live, and it's pothole, needs doing really badly. But they won't touch that road. What they'll do, there'll be a road up the road that's only just been re-tarmacked 2 or 3 years ago. They'll break that up and redo it. But they won't do the one that really needs doing badly.
It's all a big con. To keep them. Yeah.
It's all a big con. Because they probably ain't getting money for that little side road that comes down by you, but big business is paying for the one at the top. That's why that keeps getting repaired, because they can probably reclaim some money from the company who's got an investment in it, especially if it's round by sort of the Dartford Tunnel or somewhere like that. But your little road, they ain't going to get nothing back for it. So they ain't going to bother ever doing that bit of a road. That can go and swivel. You need to all start waking up to these little things, guys, because it all matters.
Yeah, it does.
You know? But please, get yourselves into lawful rebellion. Article 61. Hashtag lawful rebellion. Hashtag take the oath 61.
As we keep saying, you've got some amazing tools. Your biggest tool is the Constitution. You have common law. Let's start using the tools we have. Let's start fighting back people. Let's start saying no.
Claire's right. What happens with the potholes? Every time a car goes down a pothole, boom, that's a garage. You've got to have your suspension done or something because you've gone down a pothole. So it's more money. There's methods in the madness. Where you should be saying, okay, I've just gone down a pothole. You're supposed to maintain the road, so you're going to pay for my garage bill. That's what people should be doing.
Should be. I said it would be our liability the other way around if you, for instance, was in charge of a road and a government car or something went down, you didn't fix it properly, and they would charge you. They'd say, right, well, our vehicle was damaged due to your negligence. You're paying.
Yeah.
So we've got to start treating it. We've got to start fighting back, people. We've got to start using our laws and our constitution and start making sure these people realise that we're just not going to take this no more, and it's never meant to happen again.
You have a roof tile fall off the roof and hit somebody on the head.
No.
They'll put a claim in for you. They'll check you for thousands for damages for whatever's happened to them. What's the difference? You're driving down the road that should be maintained. Them roads should be in pristine condition with what you pay for your road tax and that. And they're not doing the job properly. Yep. It's only the same thing, guys. No. Start doing them. Start taking them to court.
That's what we've got to start doing. We've got to start fighting back. Lose the fear. Well, I'm going to have to jump off because I've got a couple of things to do.
Yeah, well, I've got to get myself now. I'm only going to do it. I was only supposed to be coming on for half an hour.
It's always a way. It's always a way. Yeah. All right, Mike.
But yeah, so we'll just touch on quickly before we go now. Well, now we weren't going to do it, but we will. Just ignore all the fake accounts, guys. It's not us.
Yeah.
It's people playing silly buggers again.
Yeah, there's comedians who think they're really, really funny, who think stooping to be that low is okay. They're morally defunct, these people.
Yeah, and they've got no truth to come back and fight the truth. They can't win the argument, so what they do, they try to discredit you out of the game by making fake profiles, etc., etc. But it's not going to work because everybody knows us all too well now. If he was brand new on the scene, probably might have had a chance. But because we've been around now for so many years, people got to know our personalities and know that's not our style.
Yeah.
So just take no notice of them. Send us all the information if you get it, screenshots, etc., and we'll just keep reporting them.
Well, because the police are involved, these people, the police are involved, they know of these people, they know what they're doing. So it's one of them. Yeah. And this is what I'm talking about. It's like we're all trying to save our country, apparently, and our people, but yet you've got people that will stoop that low. It's I said, they're morally defunct. They're morally defunct. It's ridiculous. Well, anyway, Mark, I'm going to go. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, and here's my hand, here's my heart. Right hand, not left hand, as they keep saying. Because I'm stupid to think that's my left hand. Because I don't realise that Facebook is mirrored. Exactly. But there you go, that's what you're up against, by the way. But anyway, stay safe, guys. Have a great week of work. We'll speak to you probably midweek. If I get any updates on South Africa things, I will come on during the week and give it an update on what's happening in South Africa as and when I get it. If not, I'll just put it through as and when we come live. But we'll keep it informed of what's going on. We are doing things behind the scenes. We are planning things behind the scenes. So these things take time. You can't just put any old shoddy paperwork. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You get it revoked.
You can't just, don't work like that. You can't just throw something together.
No. You can't just go, oh, that'll do, and then go. You can't do that. You've got to make sure it's 100%. And it takes time. Because don't forget, we have to go over it and over it and over it. Because that's what these will do. When you're taking these things in, you've got to think of what your enemy's going to do. And your enemy's going to go through that with a fine tooth comb. And that's what you've got to do before you put it in. Because you've got to anticipate what they're going to do. And that's what we always do. We did it with Clarke. We're doing it again now. So don't think we're not doing stuff. We are.
We're just not being hasty about it. That's all.
No.
All right, I'm gonna jump off. All right, good night,
Stay
everybody.
safe, boys.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Whether you're in South Africa, New Zealand, Canada, America, Australia, or here in the UK, we love every single one of you guys. Messages, talk to each other. Let's unite all around the world and let's get these elites removed, because it's the only way we're going to get our countries back, guys. Stay safe. Speak to you later in the week, unless I get any important information, and I'll be back before on South Africa. Stay safe, guys. Have a great week. Speak to you soon.